Hello, and apologies for being late to the party with this one, but I finally give my thoughts on Dan Trachtenberg's upcoming Predator movie titled Badlands. So the trailer starts within the Yautja trophy cabinet displaying the classic human skulls as well as that of a T-Rex, which shows how long the Predators have been around for. But the one that has gotten the most attention is the skull which many are claiming is from the alien creatures in Independence Day. An interesting nod from 20th Century Fox to one of its own films. However, I personally hope that it remains as nothing more than a nod, as I would certainly not be excited about a Predator Independence Day crossover. I have always thought of those beings as being dangerous collectively rather than formidable individually. More interestingly to me are these massive gorilla-like skulls, which I will discuss later on. The next shot is of yet another skull and a Yautja retrieving a biomass from the sand while someone says, "I didn't think you survived," as the classic jungle beat plays. This shot here reminds me of a scene from the Star Wars franchise with what looks like a Jedi Master on an alien desert planet. The next clip compounds the Star Wars feel with a pod racer-like vehicle racing over the sand dunes. Here, we have the Yautja protagonist laying its weapons out for the hunt, perhaps trying to make the best of what it has. It seems like it possesses a medikit, some mines, a bow, and a retractable spear. There is a lot of stuff online with the android character, played by Ellie Fanning, who has the Weyland-Yutani logo in her eyes, suggesting her android role. The character looks like she has been imprisoned or punished within a tree, much like Conan in the Tree of Woe. Although the hero of the movie seems to be a predator, we do have some human characters, which is perhaps necessary to drive the plot forward. These lethal looking plants give further hints to the planet's hostility and remind me of the fungal spores in Alien Covenant. This is where we get some proper glimpses of the central Yautja character, and this is where I start to have some problems. Again, the movie makers have gone with the dreadlock appendages being like hair, and this Yautja has even styled his with an undercut ponytail, which I am not a fan of. I have already discussed in a previous video that I think the dreadlock appendages should be an essential part of the anatomy rather than hair, but never mind, this is not a deal breaker. We then have this shot of what looks like an elder possibly holding a plasma sword. This individual looks a lot like the Alpha Predator to me, with the white dreadlock appendages, and seems to be in the process of punishing another Yautja. We then have this clip of a plasma sword fight, which conjures further images of Star Wars. I did upload a video years ago where I made connections between the Predator and Star Wars franchise, so perhaps this film has made similar connections. Many people online are theorising that this is a redemption story where an outcast Yautja is trying to take on the most formidable prey in order to win favour with its kind again. If that is the case, this film may have been inspired by Scarface in Concrete Jungle. Fanning's character appears again and speaks more dialogue, saying it can't be killed, as we have a silhouette of a massive alien creature emerging from the mist. This almost looks like a gorilla to me, which links back to the skulls at the beginning, but on a much larger scale like King Kong. Therefore, perhaps this planet is like Skull Island, where many types of deadly prey reside. We finally get a shot of the Yautja's face, and this presents me with further problems. Firstly, it now has a hairline, suggesting that the other individuals were suffering from male pattern baldness, or this is possibly yet another subspecies of the Yautja. Secondly, its roar sounds very different, as well as its overall look, which seems much more human with its skin coloration. However, my biggest problem with its appearance is with its skin, which looks far too dry and rubbery. What happened to the moist reptilian skin of the jungle hunter? This one looks like a fish that has been kept out of water for too long. Despite some of my issues with the creature design, I feel that this could be a very enjoyable film for regular filmgoers and younger Predator fans. The Star Wars style and more youthful looking Yautja protagonist should appeal to a younger audience. Additionally, the fewer human characters should keep the film certification down. Violence on fictional alien creatures is far more acceptable than graphic scenes of harm involving humans. Unfortunately, These were classic conventions from the original films, and this will simultaneously erode the horror aspect of the franchise, which now looks much more like a science fiction action fantasy as opposed to a science fiction action horror. If you are asking me whether I'll be anticipating this film, I would have to say no. But perhaps I am the problem. Has the franchise moved on in a different direction? And am I still romanticising about the films from my youth? I think that my love for the franchise might have died after Predator 2. But do not let me sway you, this could be a very enjoyable film. Please look out for my review of Alien Earth, which I'll be uploading soon. Until next time, take care.